Hello everyone, this video is gonna be a live walkthrough of getting a Moveset mod to work with the CSK Collection API. So instead of sending out database files patched in and expecting the end users to patch it, your Moveset mod will automatically add the character database entry. This video is intended for those who at least understand Rust and programming in general. If you don't, then don't use this as a quick start guide. Read up on Rust first and other programming languages, then come back and start messing around with stuff. After you get used to it, then you can start following this video. We'll be using the silver moveset made by Mrama, and he was very nice enough to send it over to me so I can use it as a demonstration for this purpose, I guess, getting it through the CSK collection. Anyways, let's get started. So first things first, I'll have these linked down. What you'll want is this template, which has the required dependencies, so the Acropolis API and the CSK Collection API. Skyline Smash, you're most likely using this already if you're making a Moveset mod, so you don't need to copy this over. But it comes with the hash 40 function, which is very useful. So to use these dependencies, just copy them, go to cargo.toml, and paste them under your dependencies here. And then I'll be adding one more dependencies, which isn't required, but it's very useful, since the Mrama plugin uses it. And that's param_config here. So this lets us one slot parameter stuff. And now if you go back to the lib.rs here, we can start using the CSK collection functions. But first, let's go ahead and copy over the stuff from the template here that we have. So we need this global array, which tells us which colors are marked. There's 256 entries, since that's the maximum amount of colors a character can have in Smash. So we'll place this under this. Now we have our new array. And then we'll also have our check dependencies. This is basically just an improved version of this function that Mrama has, which just checks if you have the dependencies that's required for the moveset to work. So it goes through all of this and checks to see if it exists. If it doesn't, it tells them that it doesn't with printing and returns false. And then that big function over there, we'll go over it real quick, but let's just copy this over and replace this here. And then this over here, we can get rid of it for now. And just go ahead and start copying this one over. So this will register an event callback for Acropolis, which will call this function mods mounted. This mods mounted function is over here. We can go ahead and copy it over. So we copy it over and paste it here. And this is the function we'll be using to use the CSK Collection API and adding the stuff to it. So what we first need is the fighter name here. In which case, Silver uses Mewtwo as a base, so we'll do Mewtwo. It's gonna be the fighter folder name here. I messed up the template, but there should be these two here. I'll update this before I publish the video. And then your marker name. So let's go ahead and just put it as silver.marker. So now this goes through all the colors in Mewtwo's folder. And if the silver.marker file exists, it'll treat that color as a silver fighter. So it'll expect that color to be silver. So we'll just have to go here to fighter, model body, and add the silver.marker file to each body folder here. Which shouldn't be that bad, but we'll do that later before we send these files over to the Switch for testing. And then here we have this marked slots function, this vector. This will be used for the param_config, and if you are going to use param_config, then you could leave this in here, but if you're not, you can get rid of it. But it basically pushes every color that exists that has a silver marker file to that vector. And this lowest color, we'll use it for the color start index for the redirected character icon. So the first color it finds, if it's still not set, it sets that color as the lowest color. And then if the lowest color is -1, that means it couldn't find any marker file, which means we could just leave. So we don't need to add silver to the character selection screen. And then we get the color number here by getting the index, which is going to be the lowest color, loop through while it's less than 256 and while the index is true. So the index, we get it and subtract the lowest color. So let's say we start at 128 and we have 5 colors. So it goes all the way up to 133 and then subtracts it. So that's how much colors it has. So 133 minus 128, that's the amount of colors they have. And then here is where we're going to put the CSK collection stuff. So let's go ahead and get this stuff ready. So we can go back here. Let's go here. And we're going to use our database that we already have as a template. If you don't have a database file set up yet, you can go ahead and create the structure manually. But I'd recommend getting one ready. So we can go to silver files, cd UI, cd param, cd database, fzf prc code. I'm gonna just open up the UICharDB first. So here we have, let's go ahead and go to 0x0fe, yeah. So Mrama already put the silver UIChara ID inside the DB here. So you can go ahead and just copy all this. And then go to this website here, closancaber.com/arc. And then convert PRC XML entry to CSK Collection API struct. So you can go here, paste it in. And you should have everything here. Everything that you need. This should not be -1, right? Oh wait, it is -1, right? So here, we can go ahead and copy all this over. Go to lib.rs. Let me go back here real quickly, yeah. Just Control Z this stuff here. Okay. Lib.rs, we can go ahead and before we paste it in, you want to do the CSK Collection API, add CharaDB entry info. And then the CSK Collection API CharaDB. And then let's just get rid of all this. Let me move this out of the way so I can see. Yeah. Let me paste this in. Let's go here. I just realized that I have not wrapped these in sum, so that's my bad. Let me go ahead and fix that real quick. Be right back. Alright, I fixed the converter real quick, so let's go ahead and just paste it back in. Control A, Control C. Paste it in. And now, let's go ahead and just format this real quick. You could do Alt-Shift F, but then they'll format it like this. Or you could just manually indent everything. So we just go back here, up. Tab this in. And then just go all the way down here. Indent this in. Bring this back in. And then we just do the same thing here. Alright. Now that we have it formatted, it looks nicer. We can go ahead and start editing it so it fits our needs. So the first one, UIChara ID, we have to get rid of this line. You have to get rid of U64 directly. You could also replace this with smash #40 UIChara silver to be more readable. And then these are the ones that it uses initially. #40 of 1. This can just be 0, 0 if it's -1. You can go ahead and do the same thing here. Just replace these with 0, 0. And then this. Let's go ahead and also we have our name ID, which is silver. Yes. All right. By default, the website will give you all of these in optional. So if the user already has a UIChara silver in their db.prc, CharaDB, it will not overwrite anything. If you want to overwrite some stuff like here, so let's say you want the first file to be the narration that we're going to set it to later, you could just change it to overwrite, but it's up to you entirely. You decide whether you want to overwrite it or make it optional. So I'm going to go ahead and overwrite the name ID because I want that to always be silver. You just get rid of the sum that is trapped in. And then fighter kind Mewtwo, these have to be overwritten since it relies on Mewtwo being Mewtwo. And then here, this one is the original UIChara hash, so we're gonna overwrite this one too. And this is the color start index, so you can overwrite this, and we have to give it our lowest color as this, because we want to start at the lowest color possible. So 128, that's our lowest color, that's where you're gonna start. And this is UIChara Mewtwo. All right, everything else you can leave it as optional, so if the user edits them, they can still have their edits. And then let's also do add, was it add online? Yeah, allow UIChara hash online. So we can allow silver online, but if your fighter doesn't work online or something, you don't need to bother stating this. You can just leave it out. And let's go ahead and also add narration character call entry. This one will wait for a bit, so we're gonna have to do this later. because I'll explain what you need to do for this one later. But once we get our entry for the character database, we have our color start index set as lowest color. We have our original Chara UI hash of UI Chara Mewtwo. We have everything else looks fine. UI series ID, we want to set it to Sonic as optional in case they change it. Fighter type normal. If they change this, they probably know what they're doing, so we don't need to worry about that, hopefully. This border 41 next to Sonic, I think, if that's what it was. And then yeah. So we can just leave this as is right now, and we can go ahead and do the next ones, which is the UI layout DB. So how it lays it out in the Jira FE, yeah. So this is how it structures the position. It sets the positioning and the scale, the offset, all of this for the user interface, their BNTX, their Chara X, whatever. So you can go ahead and go here. Just paste this in there too. Control A, Control C. And then we do the CSK Collection API, add Chara layout DB. Same thing here. Shift N, we're gonna clear this, paste. And thankfully this one isn't as big as the previous one. Well, I guess it's bigger, but not as convoluted, just simple numbers. I recommend leaving all this as optional. Remove this one from over here because the UI layout ID here has to be a number directly. And this one, we could replace this with smash hash 40 of UI Chara Silver directly. And I'd also recommend overwriting this if you're... Well, if they already have the layout ID that exists, which is going to be UI Chara Silver. Well, actually, let me verify this real quick. So if I go here, hash lookup, see if I looked this up before. Yeah, okay, I did. It was UI Chara Silver 00. You should already know what these hashes are when you make them because, well, you're the one that gives it, tells it what to do. But if you don't know them, then you can just stick with the numbers directly. Alright, and then the rest is just optional in case they change the layout themselves. And now we have our Chara DB and layout DB. Let's start working on our narration Chara call entry. You can also get rid of the PRC files here now. So you can just get rid of the database. Busy, so we just have to cancel cd dot here. And then hopefully I don't have another CMD. Okay, yeah. So now that we have it cleared up, let's work on the message name.msbt next. So we have our name ID Silver here, and our indexes here. So N00 index, we have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So now we need to have an entry for the MSBT. So we can go here, go back, and create message name MSBT easily. So let's go ahead and add our new fighter name ID, which is going to be Silver. We can go all the way here, set the NXX index to 0, and then just fill in the rest. Silver, 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 Silver. And the box string title, it's up to you, whatever you want to put in. I have no idea what Silver's one is inside the MSBT there. So let's go ahead and just say from the hit game Sonic 06, I guess. I don't know. Well, not a hit game, it's a miss game. Okay, from the miss game, that's better, funnier. Alright. And then once you have your XMSBT, you can either copy and paste this or just download it directly. I already have an XMSBT file I made before, so we can just... We're still going to use this one though for demonstration purposes. The release spawn behind it. We'll leave this and we just name this back to message name.xmsbt. Let's open it up here. We come from the big and dying. Everything looks good. All right. We can now close this. Go back here. And we have our message name. We removed the MSBT and made it into a patch file XMSBT. And then standard raw silver. That's all right. Replace. We have our files here. That's fine. All right. Next up is this sound. So if we go to sound bank, pronoun, sound label info, we can get rid of this one because the CSK collection will deal with that. Fighter. These are the voice files. Yeah, these are all fine. We can leave them as is. The narration though, we want to edit this, so we'll go to narration. Let's open up the file directly and see which one has silver in it. Oh, it's corrupted. So let's go ahead and just cmd NUS3 audio to have help, I think. Yeah, NUS3 audio. We want to extract the name, output, and then VC narration charcoal and audio. Oh wait, I think it was VC narration charcoal and audio, then E output. Okay, so I got us all our files. We can go ahead and open it. One of these was silver. I'm not sure which one. I think it was this one.
Young Link.
Was it not? Oh wait, article, yeah.
Silver.
That's what he replaced. So we can just copy this and paste it in here, and then delete all these three. We're gonna rename this to VC narration charcoal silver for our stuff. And now we're gonna add it to the game. So we're gonna go here to our to-do, and we're just gonna add this directly. And that's all you need to do for the narration charcoal. This could be either an IDSP, Lopus, or NUS3 audio. But if you do make a NUS3 audio, the inner name has to be the same as the outer name. So I just recommend putting the IDSP directly. The IDSP or Lopus, up to you. It could also be a WAV, but I would not recommend that because that's very inconsistent with the volume and everything. So just use IDSP or Lopus. And then we can go ahead and... I think that's about everything here for the CSK collection. Let me just verify this real quick with my reference. Yep, that looks like it. So we have our layout DB, we have our char DB. And then next up, let's go ahead and... we have the config param here. As you can see here, the slots are hard-coded, but using the param config create API, we can use that to programmatically set the slots here we had earlier. So I'm not gonna go through the trouble of actually typing it all out directly because that's gonna be a pain, but I'll just paste it in here for my reference. So now it sets the slots via the dynamic ones we found here. So let's go here real quick and paste this in. Yeah, that should remove that trouble. You can also get rid of this function here. And last but not least, before we actually run this plugin to test it out, we want to go ahead and go to where it checks for silver itself here. So if I recall correctly, yeah, in mod. So this has a function. This code has this moveset has a function that checks if it's a silver color. So this all checks it, yeah. So you can go ahead and replace this with our own check. So we're gonna take this, get rid of the old one instead of checking two colors which are preset. So we can just make let color equals this. So you're gonna have to mark this as unsafe too. Then we do create marked colors, color as usize. And now this goes to the marked colors here. And if the index it's at is marked as true, then the color is marked and we should use it. And then that's about everything. So we changed the silver files to be patched. We can remove this file now. And let's delete this alt plugin.nrl. Oh wait, we forgot one more thing. We need to add the marker files here. So if we go up, we see here that we have Mewtwo silver.marker. So we go to fighter, Mewtwo model body, and then we just make a new file here. Let's call this silver.marker. We copy, go here, paste, do the same for all your other colors. And then once you're done, and then one more thing I'll slipped my mind real quick. We added the VC narration charcoal silver here, but we didn't set the narration charcoal label here properly. So you want to go ahead and do smash #40 and add VC narration charcoal. Make sure you don't miss this, by the way, because this is going to be very important. And then everything uses 0, which is nice. You could set these to be slots and add more stuff, but if you want to expand on this, do it on your own free time. Right now, I'm just going to try and get this all done. So here we have the param config doing it dynamically. And then let me go ahead and open a file to real quick. Hopefully it's on my other desktop. Okay, yeah. 92.168.0.28 and 5000. Alright. Let's go ahead and do /ultimate/mods. I already have the stuff moved over, so I guess you can just leave it as is. but it should follow the same structure where you just need the config.json. We're gonna go ahead and upload the plugin here, so we can go back. Cargo Skyline build release. If there's any errors, you should probably sit down and fix them right now. Alrighty, so we ran into 21 issues. So let's see here. Expected U64 found. Okay, so we forgot to change this one to be remove the parentheses around the sum. Let's build again. Oh boy, I think I messed up a lot. Optional here. Oh, we didn't wrap these up. That's my bad. So we just do parentheses, sum, and do the same thing here. Alright, that one already has it done. Let's go run it again. 5 errors now. Let's go ahead and just fix these up. Let's see here. Optional. Wrap these up in sum. Alright, let's try again. 3 more left. I'm gonna try and fix these on the converter side, but oh, we need to include this to use the CSK Collection map. Yeah, I'm gonna try cleaning these up, cleaning these minor issues on the converter. But if you do run into these errors, I expect you should be able to figure out how to handle them on your own. Shouldn't be that hard to figure out. Let's go back up and see what's the last error. Skyline web. Okay, so yes, I'm using this one, which I forgot to remove. Alright, and now we should have it compiling perfectly fine. And once it builds, we can go ahead and copy this over. This is, by the way, exactly set up the same. So if you go to UI param, there's only standard, no database. Messaging.xmsbt, replace has the stuff. If we go to sound, we have no param, we only have back, narration, and we only have. I left it as Nusty audio when I was working on it, but let me just show you guys that IDSP works. So we're just gonna delete it. Narration, right click, reveal explorer. We're gonna copy this, go back to foobar and paste this in. Alright, we can leave it as IDSP, it should still work. Fighter, Mewtwo, model, body. When we check here, we should have silver.marker. Yep. And then effect, that's just on slot effect stuff, so you can leave it as is, so you don't need to worry about that. And now we can just copy this over. Plugin.nrl. Now let's go ahead and try it out. So let's switch to scenes. Well, first let me open the. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Scene 2. Let's try running it. Hopefully audio works. Okay. Let's go and run cargo skyline list in here just to make sure that everything looks nice. Alright, loading up. Let's go ahead and get into the menu, see if it works. And there we have him, Silver. He's next to DDD because I think I just messed up the numbers a bit. But everything works nicely. Let's go ahead and try picking a color. Start. And he loads in just fine. Nice. Let's try playing around a bit, make sure that everything works. Oh. Okay, it looks like everything works nicely. I'm not sure which one it is. Okay, that one he's on. So yeah, look, everything works nice. And we didn't need to edit any DB files directly. Oh. But yeah, that's how you integrate your Moveset model to CSK Collection. So that way you don't have to overwrite or edit the DB file directly. So I guess that's about it. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Actually, one more thing I want to go over. The stock icon issue still happens. Apologies for not being able to fix it, but it's going to take a while looking into it. Anyways, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day.